This is a continuation of the quest of St. Nicholas, the final chapter. Chapter 10, A Christmas Hope. Nicholas then laid down his spear and shield and rushed over to Basilios. "Basilios, it's over now. We can go home." "No, I don't want to go home. I will stay here." "Basilios, what are you saying? Your parents are worried about you. It's time to go back," Nicholas said, realizing the spell was not yet completely broken. "Why would I go? They don't really want me there. At least I am wanted here." "Basilios, Basilios, do you not realize that is all lies? The Krampus only wants you here to enslave you and destroy you. He has deceived you to think that you are only your hurt and nothing else, and that there is nothing else to you but your hurt. But that is not true, Basilios. Basilios, I know you've been hurt more deeply than any boy or anyone ever should, but no hurt, no matter how great, is greater than the love that came down on Christmas, the love who came to give his life for you. No darkness in you is greater than the incarnate light. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. He doesn't just want to heal your hurt, but he wants to love you, and he is relentless in this. Oh, how can I make you see? How can I make you understand? How can I make you know how loved you are, Basilios? How much your parents love you? How much I love you? And how that love is but a pale reflection of the love of the incarnate light come down on Christmas for you. Oh, how do I show you?" Nicholas, with tears welling up in his eyes, had gone down to his knees as he was speaking, so he was eye level with little Basilios. He wished he could somehow heal all the hurt, make everything better for little Basilios. Out of all the challenges he had faced, from his feeling in the Hall of Ice Mirrors to all he'd endured on this quest, it was in this moment that he felt the most helpless. "Sing my song, Nicholas. Listen for the music and sing my song. That is how." And Nicholas listened. He then not only listened and was filled with the music, but now he himself sang the song of Caritas. Now, I cannot write here the words to this song, nor can I describe the melody of the song of Caritas. I can only simply say this. If you have ever in your life heard music or a song that stirred something deep in your heart, that when you heard it, you knew in your heart that your life matters, that it means something, and that you are part of something so much bigger and more beautiful than you ever realized or imagined, and that makes you realize your life is all the more worth living, and you know and realize that you are loved. If you have ever heard music that made you feel something like that, then you have, in a very small way, experienced something like a very small taste of the song of Caritas. And as Nicholas sang the song, Basilios, who had turned his eyes away from Nicholas in a cold stare, now looked up, right into Nicholas's eyes. And in his eyes, Basilios saw the eyes of all those who had ever loved him. His adopted parents, his baby brother, the Theotokos and her spouse, the elves who'd all aided relentlessly in the quest to save him, even a glimpse of a memory of the eyes of his own birth mother before she left, and even his father behind his own anger and hurt, even that flicker of love, and behind it all, an even greater love. The source of all these loves, from which all these other loves flowed, as but pale sunbeams from the very sun itself, from the very incarnate light himself. and the sliver of hurt in his heart melted and overflowed, his eyes filling with tears, and he melted into the embrace of Nicholas, whom he loved like a grandfather. And Nicholas's own eyes also filled with tears. And as the spell over Basilios broke and melted, so did the spell over the whole place. The magic ice mirrors shattered and began to melt. The chains around the rest of the children broke, setting all the children free. And drawn to the song of Caritas that Nicholas sang, knowing that this same love overflowed to them and melted the slivers of hurt in their own hearts, they all ran towards Nicholas. They piled together in a group hug, while Nicholas and Basilios in the center. The elves were now clearly visible, singing and laughing together with the gathering children. And Nicholas finished singing the song, and there were many tears of joy and much laughter, and the song still echoed through the halls of the cave, which now no longer looked scary, wicked, and gloomy place, but looked more like a beautiful, ornate palace or cathedral. As they stepped out of the cave and looked up at the night sky, they saw a shimmering light, not only a brilliant shining moon and the twinkling stars, but they saw sheets of shimmering, dancing lights in the sky that kept shifting in shape and color, scattering the gloomy darkness. The children pointed and chattered in wonder about these beautiful dancing lights. These are the Aurora Borealis, the northern lights. Now that the darkness of the Krampus has been defeated, these lights shine as a sign of hope, of the defeat of darkness, and of the triumph of the light. They turned to see who had said this, and there before them stood a beautiful lady, cloaked with a mantle that sparkled like the stars in the night sky above, and who radiated with light all around her. Round her head was a crown of 12 stars, and peeping out of the snow all around her were roses of all different colors. The children seemed to instantly know who she was, and ran to her with cries of joy and delight. The Moon Maiden laughed and crouched down to receive and return their hugs and kisses and words of love. She prayed over each of them, asking for heaven's blessing on each of them. After all this, the children miraculously all fit comfortably into the sleigh with the good Bishop Nicholas and all 7 elves, all warm and cozy despite the snowy winter chill. And they were wrapped in soft, warm, and cozy blankets. Temps pulled fresh-baked kringle from a pouch, though Nicholas had no idea when he had time to make fresh kringle, and served the warm, sticky pastry to all the children, while Prudy explained yet again how it's called kringle after the Christkindl, that is, the Christ child, whose birth we celebrate to this day, and also to refer to its shape is called a pretzel, which means prayer. And as the great stag, with the blazing cross between its antlers, and with its team of reindeer, pulled the sleigh swiftly across the snow, Spez told stories, and they all with Carrie sang songs, Christmas hymns and carols, and also some fun and silly songs. And they laughed and talked and sang all throughout their sleigh ride with the good Bishop Nicholas, who laughed and sang right along with them as his big billowy white beard and red cloak blew and swirled around him in the wind. And as each child was delivered home to their parents, there were many hugs, kisses, and tears of great joy. And they heard in the distance a jingle of sleigh bells, and a distant bellow of laughter with a cry of, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Glory to God in the highest, and peace to people of good will." And some even caught a glimpse of a team of reindeer and a figure in a red cloak with a billowing white beard. And Basilios, too, was returned to his parents, with much tears of joy and hugs and kisses, and answering his parents' questions of how Saint Nicholas saved him and brought him home. And from that Christmas on, Basilios never forgot how much he was loved, and never feared that his little brother would take his parents' love away from him. In fact, he was finally free to love his baby brother more than he had ever known his little heart could. "I didn't know my heart could make so much love," he told his parents. And he was the best of big brothers, loving, caring for, and protecting his little brother, so his little brother would never doubt how much he was loved. And when his baby brother was old enough, Basilios would tell him about how even in our moments when we are afraid or feel in darkness, to know how much he is loved. Remember, baby brother, if you are ever afraid, remember that not only do I love you and will fight for you, but the whole kingdom of heaven stands ready to fight for you, to guard and protect you. The love of the king is more powerful than all the darkness of this world. The moon maiden, that is the Theotokos, the mother of the king, and all angels under her command, and all the saints, especially the good Bishop St. Nicholas, the knight of the incarnate light of the holy Christkindl, they will all fight for you. As for Bishop Nicholas, after having celebrated a most joyous Christmas with Basilios and his family, he left to go back north, for Nicholas's quest had only just begun. Under those dancing, shimmering lights in the northern sky, what we now call the Northern Lights, the moon maiden, the Theotokos, whose name is Mary, told Nicholas that these lights were there to always remind him what he'd learned during that first part of his quest in conquering the Krampus, but also to inspire him in the work of his ongoing quest. And then, under these dancing lights, she then formally blessed and commissioned Nicholas to this mission, his ongoing quest, with these words: "And Nicholas, you will have the power to bear the light of hope, that when people are lost in darkness or without hope, have forgotten joy, that you will bear to them good tidings. You will bear to them the Creator light. You will become more than what you are. You will become a sign, a symbol. You will remind them of the deeper magic, the deeper hope that bears and endures. And even in the darkness, there is light. Even in death, there is life." And the moon maiden, Mary, the Theotokos, then also commissioned her 7 servants, the elves, and also their kin, to continue to help Saint Nicholas in his mission. As it is now written in their own history, the Book of Elves, the servants of light in their whimsical weavings are to create delight for children who are grieving, that sorrow may not be so strong to keep light at bay, but that they may know the song of the sun and know his healing ray. And so, to this day, especially in the cold and dark of winter, you may catch a glimpse of that good bishop, St. Nicholas, in his red robes and billowing beard. You may hear his jingle of bells, and may catch a faint sound of the song of Caritas, especially in the cold and dark of winter, when we remember the incarnate light that came into the world. And I tell you this tale, so that you too may be a bearer of the light of He who is the King of love and joy beyond all telling, who breaks into battle darkness, that you, who have now heard this tale, may share in St. Nicholas's mission, to serve the King in conquering darkness, that you too may bear hope to the world. The end.